Hello there. Pleased to meet ya. Mission 5, Lesson 28, where our student objective is to solve word problems with line plots. So we're going to be using line plots today. Yes, and solving word problems with them. So today, it's going to be best if we just go through the Tower of Power together and look at how we have it all set up there. So let's do it. All right. Our first one says Chloe, hi Chloe, made a line plot of the insects she measured. And it asks what was the longest measurement. So you can see this line plot, and it has the length of insects in inches. So in this one, so the length in inches of each one. Each X represents an insect that measured that length. All right. So when you're making these line plots, each X will represent one of whatever you're doing. So if it's asking what was the longest measurement is the first one, it's meaning, okay, which of these numbers on the line plot had at least one X when it's asking for what was the longest. Zoom out here a little bit. So if we look, well, which is the greatest number that has at least one X? It's right here. It's 1 6/8. Now, I know the line plot goes up to 2 and it has 1 7/8, but look, there's no X next to them. And again, we're not asking for which has the most, which would be right here. It's asking for what was the longest measurement. And so the longest measurement that has at least one X here is this 1 6/8 inches. 1 6/8. Boop. Okay. And now it asks which insect measurement was the most common. So when it's asking for something like which is the most common or which occurred the most, now I'm going to look at which of the numbers has the most X's. So if I look here, which of these numbers has the most X's? Well, it's right here because this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 X's, and the next closest is 4 with these two. So which insect measurement was the most common? It was right here. And what number was that? 1 4/8 inches. Boop. Good work. Keep climbing. Okay, for the second step, it's going to say the table shows the length of time each student read over the weekend. We are now going to create a line plot to display the data. All right. So it asks us, okay, which scale makes the most sense for the line plot? So, okay, so we have the students. So we have Melanie, Karina, Karen, Larry, Carly, and Josh. And the length of time in hours they spent reading over the weekend. So Melanie spent 1.5 hours. Karina spent 2 3/4. Karen spent 3/4 of an hour. Larry spent 3 3/4 of an hour. Carly spent 1.5 hours. And Josh spent 3 hours. Okay, so it's going to ask us which scale makes the most sense for the line plot. So should it start at 0 and go all the way up to 1? Should it start at 0 and go all the way up to 10? Or should it start at 0 and go to 4? Well, okay, so it should start at 0, right? And especially because we have 3/4 there, so we're going to have to start at 0 for this one. Now, what does it need to go up to? Well, automatically, I know it can't be this one, 0 to 1, because look, I have numbers that are greater than 1 that I'm going to have to put on there. All right? So I'm down to, my two choices are 0 to 10 or 0 to 4. Do I need to go all the way up to 10? What's the greatest number out of all of these? 3 3/4 is my greatest. Okay, so do I need to go all the way up to 10? No. This 0 to 4 is going to be the best for me because there's no number greater than 4. So I don't want a bunch of just blank space on my number line. So I want to go from 0 to 4. Because again, none of the numbers go over 4. Okay, and it says the smallest fraction in the table is fourths, which line plot is divided into fourths. So then I look between like 0 and 1 here. That has 1, 2, 3, 4. I can automatically tell it's going to be this one, this first one, because it had 4 there. This one, there is no dividing in fourths. This has 1, 2, 3, 4 fifths. This one has it divided into fifths. Good work. Okay. And now we're going to plot the points. Now, here's the key. Notice they're not all in the same unit, so we might have to rename some. So we haven't divided this line plot into fourths, but you notice, like for instance, this is 1.5. So we have to say, okay, what is 1.5 equal to in fourths? So a half is equal to how many fourths? 1/2 is equal to 2 fourths. So this is the same as saying 1 2 fourths. So I'm going to put a point here, 1 2 fourths. And again, that's the same as 1.5. Now 2 3 fourths is already marked. We can mark it right here on 2 3 fourths. Now I'm going to go to Karen. I need to mark an X at 3 fourths. So I'm going to go where 3 fourths is, right there. Larry is 3 3 fourths. So I go to 3 and then 3 fourths right there. Carly is 1.5 again. So Carly is the same as Melanie, which was 1.5. So, and remember, we had to rename that 1.5 as 1 2 fourths because that is 1.5 is equal to 1 2 fourths. So, okay, notice I already have an X here. So what do I need to do? I need to add another X. I need to mark another point because there's 2 people, Carly and Melanie, that both were at 1 2 fourths or 1.5. And then Josh was at 3 holes, just like this. Whoop, I messed up. Did I forget one? 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3. Oh yeah, I forgot one. Which one did I forget? Let's see. Did I get 1.5? Yep, got that. Did I get 2 3 fourths? Yep, got that. Did I get 3 fourths? Yep, I got that. Did I get 3 3 fourths? Oh, I forgot Larry. Larry, 3 3 fourths. Yep. Just make sure you get them all, which was my mistake. There were 6 of them. I forgot poor Larry. Now I should be good. Now I got it. Woohoo! Okay, now we're at this top rung of the tower. Okay, it says Miss Smith's class ran the distances shown. How many more miles did Sue run compared to Jared? Solve on paper, check your answer on Zoom. So it's asking how many more miles did Sue run compared to Jared? Well, Sue ran 2 2 fourths. Jared ran 1 fourth. So I want to know how much more that was. So 2 2 fourths compared to 1 fourth. So what's the difference between the two? How am I going to solve this? Well, when I see that, like how much more, how many more miles did Sue run? That tells me I'm going to need to subtract here. So I know Sue's 2 2 fourths and Jared is 1 fourth. So I'm going to take 2 2 fourths minus 1 fourth. Well, what's 2 fourths minus 1 fourth? That's 2 minus 1 is 1 fourth. And then my 2 holes. 2 and 1 fourth should be my solution here. So Sue ran 2 and 1 fourths more miles than Jared. Great job. I did it. So that's what we're going to be looking at here today. We're going to be creating line plots. We're going to be using and analyzing line plots. And it's just going to be a great time.